welcome back to Philosophy of Kerry. First up, let's talk astral entities. The astral, you can see pretty much anything. When I first consciously astral projected, I would walk around the streets and often see these no-faced beings. So their faces would be kind of just blurred out. I never really understood this until I was talking to one of my cousins about it, and she said to me, maybe this is because you can't see a face that you don't know. And this resonated a lot with me, and like a light bulb moment, I just thought, well, that is it. If you see no-face beings, as they call them, in the astral, that is often because you don't know that soul. Astral projection versus lucid dreaming. This is something that I really wanted to talk about with you guys because a lot of people get this confused. When you astral project, there's a clear difference from when you are lucid dreaming. When you are lucid dreaming is when you are in a dream and you become aware of that. You technically just realize you are dreaming. When you realize you are dreaming, the rest of the dream is edited with your consciousness. Having your consciousness with you in a lucid dream basically just means you are lucid, hence the term lucid dream. Being lucid means you are aware of what you can control. When you dream, that is familiar to your current life. The lucid world is a playground as such of your current experiences. When you are in the dream world, you will see a lot of things that have happened in this lifespan. When you are in the astral world, you will see a lot of things that you would have never seen or have any idea of in this life. But your soul will act as though it knows them, and you will feel the knowing of that you know this world, even though in this life it would boggle your brain. Also, in astral projection, gravity is something that you can edit. It's not the same as gravity here in the material world, but there is formation, so you can still move things, throw things, you can fly, you can jump really high and hit the floor, but not be hurt. Pain is a very human emotion, as is fear. In a lucid dream, if you jump, you tend to float. You do not hit the ground as such. In the astral, your soul would tend to act as it does in its life forms. Astral meetups / sex. There's a lot of occurrences of this where people have had connected dreams. Quite a lot of couples report having these shared occurrences where they have intimate experiences. They're said to be mind-blowing and nothing like we would experience here. I have a few friends who've experienced this and they seem to really enjoy it. Typical projections. So there are many typical projections that you can base your past dreams, as you believe them to be, on and refer to them generally as astral projections. Typical experiences of this happening such as dreams where you are flying, dreams where you are breathing underwater, falling but not dying. It is generally believed that you cannot die in a dream. You may experience a type of death, but you would not fully ever die in a dream. Or that if you die in a dream, you die in real life. This would be because you are your soul in this dream world. Sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis is the occurrence of being trapped in your body but not being able to operate it. This is something that people are generally terrified of, and they often do not project because of this. They experience it and it totally blocks them off from wanting to ever do anything like that ever again. But it doesn't happen to everybody, so you shouldn't fear it before it has happened. And it is something that with practice you can learn to control. People often report feeling as though something is sitting on their chest or just holding them back in general. If an entity is holding you back, it is very important to realise that you are more powerful than the entity. As soon as you acknowledge that, it would not be an issue any longer. Another great way to fight against entities holding you back in sleep paralysis is to keep an object with you, such as a crystal or something like that, that you refer to as a talisman. You can bless it before, or just consciously believe that this will steer the entity away. Also, the more that you project, the less this will happen. In the astral, time is non-existent to a degree. Astral beings do not suffer with aging, and a lot of people believe they can kind of cheat the system with this. Spend time accumulating knowledge in the astral and not having to waste any time doing it. But this isn't necessarily true. Your soul would not allow this to happen, as you belong here now. You do not belong there as of yet. The only people who can choose to remain in the astral are people who've reached enlightenment. So we don't differentiate time in the astral with time following the moon and sun as we do here. We do it by the things we have done. So if you have done a lot in your astral projection experience, then it's safe to say you have been there a while. If you didn't get much done, then it's safe to say you weren't there long. Conducted experiments. As I mentioned in my other videos, Casey and Monroe, there have been many studies into stimulating different parts of the brain. Some of these areas of the brain include the TPG and the angular gyrus. These areas have been tested with magnetic types of stimulation. There have been cases reported of inducing OBEs, out-of-body experiences. The TPG area of the brain incorporates information to the thalamus and limbic systems, as well as from the visual, audio, and somatosensory systems. In most studies, the participants reported a case of feeling a sense of stronger reality in the projections, meaning they somehow felt that felt more real than here in the material world. A man named H.J. Irwin from the 1980s, explored into out-of-body experiences in the blind and sensory deprived. There has been many reports of people who lack senses having them in these out-of-body experiences. Also, 3 men who built an institute in England, the Society for Psychical Research. I'm quite sure I said it right. It is a non-profit organisation in London, England. An institute that investigates into events and activities that are classed as paranormal or psychic. It was created in 1882, 138 years ago. In this institute, they ran a few tests on out-of-body experiences. Also, we cannot dismiss what we don't understand, we can only learn from it. I always document my projections and visions. This is so important. If you don't document them, you won't remember them in fine detail. And then when you want to remember this occurrence years from now, you will question yourself if you don't have the fine details. Remember, once you pop, you don't stop, meaning you will always have the ability to consciously do this after doing it just one time. It's best not to overthink it. You can do this. I may do a future video on more of my experiences, but for now I will move on to other things. See you guys in the next ones.